Good morning to all. In our previous
Good morning.
lecture, we discussed regarding to the various structural features of the different component of the DNA. We know that the DNA consists of the basic component which consists of the nitrogenous base, sugar. Sugar is the pentose sugar and particularly in case of DNA it is a deoxyribose sugar and then phosphate. That all component combines and that forms the monomer, and that monomer in case of DNA is nothing but the nucleotide. We also know the meaning of nucleotide means what happens when the phosphate, sugar and nitrogenous bases, all three components are connected to each other, that forms the structure, and that is nothing but the nucleotide. Now, DNA is the polymer of that nucleotide. There are four types of nucleotides present in the DNA: adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine. These are repetitively form the long structure, polymer structure, and that is nothing but the DNA. I also given the idea that generally the DNA of all organism, all living creature is the same. So in that sense, in the with respect to the structure, it is same. But still, according to Chargaff, he says that the composition is different. Means the sequence is different. Means as far as adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine content is concerned, that is different. And along with that, their arrangement is also different. The sequence is also different. And in that sense, that offers the variety as far as all organisms are concerned. Now, question arises whether whatever structure which is discussed by the Watson and Crick proposed and which is accepted, whether it is always such a structure there or there are the several modifications are also there. So in rare cases, there are a slight deviation, differences as far as the regular structure is concerned. Already given that the DNA structure or model which is proposed by Watson and Crick, it is referred as the BDNA. So this is a while accepted. Then whether there is any possibility to have the modification as far as structure is concerned? Yes. Not only in the case of DNA, but for it is applicable for the all chemicals. What happens whenever I am saying that the hydrogen, what is the atomic weight of a hydrogen? Yes, anybody? Hello. Okay, whenever these chemicals are present in the environment, that there are always differences are there. Okay, so for example, if I am saying that you are a MSc students, that never means that everybody's height is same, everybody's dimension is same, but still as the typical average structure is the same, but individual things are different ones. Similarly, in nature also, the presence of element, they also possesses several isotopes. But whatever we discuss as far as periodic table is concerned, these are the major component, major element which is occur in the nature. Similarly, in case of DNA also, there are variations are there. Now, for what purpose the variations are there? Because there are two important reasons. Actually, the studying the forms of DNA is a much more longer phenomena, and we are not going to much details as because a lot of biophysics is available. Whatever which is important to us for the understanding the next point, and along with that, as far as the syllabus is concerned, we are going to discuss very superficially. Actually, we are not students of the biophysics or chemistry, but still, as a biologist, whatever information we need, that we are going to particularly focus. So there are two reasons why there is a structural difference as far as DNA is concerned. Then question arises why such structures are, because structures are stabilized by the environment. Simple example that the sodium chloride in normal state, it is a solid one. We can handle it as a powder. But when it is added into the water, all the crystals are get dissolved. Means the property of that sodium chloride is totally depend on the environment. Suppose if I change the other solvent, there is another kind of characteristic feature as far as the solution is concerned. Similarly, the DNA is get stabilized as far as our cell is concerned, and we know that the cell, generally cytoplasm, is the aqueous system. Water is there. Water molecules are required to stabilize the DNA also, and henceforth, at the too much dried stage, or for example, in case of endospore, you know that the endospores are totally dehydrated structure. Water is absent. Water is not present there. So in such a case, the DNA is not capable to carry the function. Why? Because for the stability, for the functioning, the water molecules are needed. Hence, for the humidity, but also one thing keep in mind that the water DNA is quite stable as compared to other. Okay, and hence, for a particular humidity is required, and even the typical humidity is not there. So there is the changes as far as the structures are concerned. Here, two important things which are responsible to modify the DNA structure, whatever we studied as per which is given by the Watson and Crick. The first thing is that the glycosidic bond conformation. In our previous lecture, we know that the carbon number 1, it is get connected to the nitrogenous base. So this is the blue colored nitrogenous base, and this is the black colored sugar. Okay, and then this is the phosphate. So this particular bond is there. This is the nothing but the glycosidic bond. Okay. So this bond can form a anti position or can form a syn position. Actually, it is a rotation. Means whenever it forms a bulky group due to the change in a configuration or change in the environment, so that orients the its structure. Here you will find here is guanine is there, but the typical guanine is the in this anti position. While in another picture, the same structure is there. Only thing is that it goes into the syn position. So this is the syn position and this is the anti position. Then which factors are determining whether it is going to anti position or a syn position? That by means of several salt and along with that the water content. So these are important. So in the case of B and A form, what happens? These particular purine or even the pyrimidine both are occur in the anti position, whatever denoted as far as this diagram is concerned. While in case of a Z form, the in case of pyrimidine, these are the same like anti, but the purines are the syn position. Means purines are like this position. Means totally rotation as far as this glycosidic bond is concerned. As the this particular purines configuration is get changed, glycosidic bonds configuration is changed. You know that the overall structural structure is also going to be changed. So this is the first reason that the due to the change in the glycosidic bond conformation in B and A form, generally the anti position is there as far as the glycosidic bond is concerned. While in case of ZDNA, the purine on the syn position. Another reason is that you know that the deoxyribose sugar is present, but that is a normal structure as physiological active structure. But in case of DNA, many times the it undergoes the puckering. The sugar puckering, it is a very important phenomena. You might hear in the chemistry also, and in a literal meanings, in the day-to-day life meanings, pucker means the wrinkles or the small folds. The here a typical diagram whatever shown here, this is not a configuration in the natural physiological state. So there is the second carbon. This is the same sugar shown here. The second carbon get deviated from the normal structure and it goes internal bending. Okay. Then why such thing is happening? Once again, I am saying that this is the depending on the concentration of water and the salt. The when such configuration is formed at the second position, this is an internal. This is referred as the 2' endopuckering. This means that the sugar is get folded, slightly deviated at a second prime position. Along with that, there is also a 3' endopuckering. So these are the important concept. These are the two major regions. There are another regions also that we are not going to discuss, but these are the major regions. And due to this, what happens? Also keep in mind that all the pyrimidine, all the purines, all the sugars are not deviating as per as these things are. Within a DNA molecule, several proportion as far as the DNA is concerned that undergoes the modification. Now, if you understand these two phenomena, then due to these changes, what happens? Here you can say that this is the structure here, typical a and T is there. But in another diagram, you will find there is a tilting. Okay, why? Because the glycosidic bond is get modified. This particular sugar and this particular sugar backbone and this particular. Due to this, what happens? The orientation it get distorted. Although these are the hydrogen bondings, but that is the easily get destabilized. So that is the phenomena takes place, and henceforth there is a formation of a slight deviated structure, and these structures are referred as the aDNA, which is shown here in this diagram. aDNA, this is the normal structure. bDNA, whatever characteristic feature we have discussed in the previous lecture, anti-parallel, what is the diameter and all these things, that these are applicable to this particular middle structure, while this is the zDNA. The one of the important difference, as far as you can also imagine, that here that the A and the B are the both are the right-handed DNA. In yesterday lecture, I explained to you that the suppose example, whenever observer we are seeing this particular structure, you will find that these orientation is like going in this direction. Okay, so these particular is a clockwise, and as compared to A and B, if you see the third structure, it is referred as the anti-clockwise or the left-handed. The zDNA totally change its helical pattern. Why? The reason is the same, due to the sugar puckering and due to the change in the site. Because once the glycosidic bonds orientation is a change, due to this what happens? The nucleotides are also going to modify. Due to the sugar puckering, nucleotides orientation is also got modified, and due to this what happens? ZDN means, for example, if the salt concentration is increased, due to the salt concentration, you know that there is a particular ionic strength are associated with it. Due to the change in the salt concentration, there is a change in the behavior of glycosidic bonds and sugar occurring, and that leads to result into the formation of these Z structure. So that is the thing. Here also you find that there is a this particular angle is also get modified. For example, this is the sugar and this is the nitrogenous base. So this angle is also get modified in the both the case. Here the total backbone helical pattern is get changed. So these are the few things which are there. But these are not only things, the structural orientation, right hand, left hand, that is altered. But due to this, overall characteristic feature of DNA is also changed. So that one by one we are going to discuss. Actually, what is the normal characteristic feature of the bDNA that is known to you? Okay, so this is the already I explained to you that how the right-handed DNA is there, how the left-handed DNA. The right-handed DNA is nothing but the A and B form, and left-handed DNA is nothing but the Z form. Now, one by one, we are going to discuss the things. For example, first thing, helical sense. Who is going to read this particular first characteristic feature? I purposefully involve you because that offers the liveliness as far as lecture is concerned. Hence, it is your turn to read these first characteristics. Yes, Aishwarya.
Helical sense.
Hmm.
A. Right-handed.
Hmm.
B. Right-handed. Z. Left-handed.
Means the
Diameter.
helical. just one by one I am going to explain. First is correct that the helical sense is a right-handed. I explain how it is right-handed and how it is a left-handed. Now, what is the normal diameter of a BDNA? In previous lecture or in front of you also the digit is there. Okay, second characteristic feature. Who is going to read? Bhagyashri or whoever ready. Immediately unmute.
Diameter
Hmm.
A 26 Armstrong,
Hmm.
B 20 Armstrong,
Hmm.
and Z 18 Armstrong.
Okay. What happens due to the distortion? The diameter is going to be changed. So in the middle table, this particular characteristic already known to you. So generally, in case of right-handed, the diameter is increased. Okay, and what happens with the case of Z DNA? Regular DNA, physiological active pDNA has the 20 Armstrong or the 2 nanometer. What happens to the Z? Yes, Yogesh, what is the Z's diameter?
18 Armstrong.
Okay. So means due to the change in two things, the diameter is also going to modify. You know that the 10 base pairs are per helical turns are there, but what is the number in case of A, B, and Z? Next student.
Base
Base pair
Hmm. Yes.
per helical turn in ADNA is 11.6, in BDNA it's 10, and in left-handed 12 6 dimer.
Okay. Next
Hello.
characteristics. Hmm. Yes, Pratiksha. Next parameter.
सर आवाज येत नाहीये तुमचा.
आता त्याला काय करता येईल? You don't take worry. Other I will afterwards also display this particular lecture on these things. So this might be due to the your trouble. At your end, the problem might be there. Others are listening. Okay, next.
helical twist per base pair.
Yes. Go.
Sir, can I read?
Yeah, yeah, yes.
For A 31 degree, for B 36 degree,
Mhm.
for Z 90 degree for pyrimidine purine steps, 51 degree for purine pyrimidine steps.
Okay. Given that due to the glycosidic variation, this Z has the differences. So that is the one of the another difference. Then next is the helix pitch rise per turn. That is the 34 means when the stacking is there at that time, helix pitch rise per turn is the 34 Armstrong here in case of a right-handed, while 34 in case of a B it is not get changed, but while it is drastically changed as far as the ZDN is concerned. In the next, helix rise per base pair is the 2.9. In this case, 3.4. You know that and here the variation is there. Okay. Now, even the base is get tilted. Base is connected to the sugar. So that is also get tilted. Okay. And here by tilted by the 20 degree, in this case right-handed DNA A form, while it is in normally 6 degree, and in Z it is a 7 degree. Even the major groove minor groove pattern is also changed, and that is narrow and deep in case of A, wide and deep in case of B, and flat in case of Z. Means some sort of a grooving pattern is disturbed as far as the major groove is concerned. The minor groove wide and shallow, while in case of B narrow and deep, and in the Z narrow and deep. And the most important thing, the reason of these particular changes is that in case of ADNA, there is the C3 prime endo sugar puckering, while in case of BDNA, C2 prime endo puckering, and here in this case, C2 prime endo puckering for pyrimidines and C3 prime endo for the purines. The two different because here the salts interfere as far as this structure is concerned. Similarly, the glycoside bonds already given that the configuration is anti. What is the meaning of anti? That is already known to you in case of A and B, while in case of Z, I have previously mentioned anti for pyrimidine and syn for the purine. Actually, due to these changes, these characteristic features are getting changed. Henceforth, this is a very important part, and keep in mind that not only the B form, which is the staple form, but along with that A and Z form is also there, but thing is that their proportion is quite less. Then question arises whether there is any natural significance as far as this thing is concerned. The yes, several scientists have detected that the several proteins of the cells recognize the part when it is under the Z configuration. Means the Z configuration is get identified by the several proteins. So that is also one of the important observation. Otherwise, whenever the physiological conditions are changed, first humidity and another is the cell concentration, appropriately the this thing is getting modified. If a majority of DNA is get modified into Z form, then automatically the functions are getting disturbed. Functional features are get lowered. So that's all regarding to the A, B, and Z form. Okay. Next part we have to discuss here is about the physical properties of DNA. Actually, this is very much important because we are going to deal with the physical properties, and we all know that these are the important components which stabilize the structure. Okay, and henceforth that offer the particular chemical as far as physical features are concerned. Then why we are going to discuss this particular physical and chemical process? Because every time in order to analyze the data associated with the organism's genetics, we are going to analyze the DNA. Hence, while studying the DNA, as far as practical aspect is concerned, what should be the options available to us, that we are going to discuss one by one. The first thing that is about the UV absorbers. Yes, Durgesh, what is the first feature? Read for me. Durvesh?
Nucleic, yes, sir.
Hmm.
Acid absorbs ultraviolet UV light most strongly at wavelength of 254 to 260 nm due to the interaction between UV light and the ring system of the purines and pyrimidines.
Okay. This is a very important feature that the DNA, when removed and tested as far as the test tube is concerned, you will find although this is the colorless solution, but it has the ability to absorb the light, particularly of the UV range, varies from the 254 to 260. Now this is very important because suppose if you are removed of any component like DNA, then how we are going to detect that whether it is DNA or not, whether it is a protein or whether it is a polysaccharide. So this is the important thing is that we can utilize this. And what is the reason? Due to the rings, nitrogenous base stacking, there is the absorbance is there. And henceforth, this UV light absorption can be important property in order to localize, isolate, or the characterize, quantify the DNA. Suppose I want to detect that where is the DNA is present, so by means of exposing the cells. For example, after you might perform the agar gel electrophoresis. After agar gel electrophoresis, what happens? You are going to visualize the band of the DNA under the UV chamber. Why? Because they have ability to absorb that particular thing, and in that way we can localize it, isolate it, and detect it. So this is the typical pattern. At the 260 it is a peak. Similarly, the proteins also have the ability to absorb, but the proteins absorbance is at 280. Just this is the key for the information that the proteins absorb at 280 while DNA absorb at 260.
260.
The same characteristics one by one we are going to explain that the maximum absorption is at 260, although the range is given but the maximum absorbance is at 260. Yes, Aditya, what is the second characteristics?
Aromatic rings of the bases found in
Second.
DNA and
That.
RNA absorb you ultra.
Huh?
Okay.
Huh.
UV absorption by nucleic acid is due to energy transitions of the delocalized electrons of the aromatic rings of the bases. When the bases stack, these electrons interact and no longer absorb UV radiation. So,
Okay. More organized structure of DNA that not absorb the DNA. Actually, the absorbance is due to the stacking, but the more organized structure means when these are free, absorbance is more. Okay, and this particular aromatic rings are actually contributing. Our in the case of protein also we know that the aromatic rings are there. They are contributing for the this. Okay, next property. Who is there?
The amount of UV light absorbed by the unknown DNA is then determined and plotted on the standard curve to deduce the concentration.
This is normal practice we are doing. You might perform the DNA also. Which method is used for the detection of the DNA in previous year in BSc. I think you have studied this thing. Arsenal method and DPA method. Which method is used for the DNA? Arsenal or DPA?
Orsino.
Arsenal.
RNA and DPA for DNA.
Very good. DPA for. So here the same principle is there. Only thing is that we are not going to add any component because DNA has itself the UV absorbance. Means what we have to do? The meaning of this particular characteristic feature that you have to prepare the different dilution 10, 20, 30 microgram per ml up to the 100, and then from that you have to prepare the curve. And if suppose if I given that this is the leaf sample and what is the concentration of DNA, so from that curve it is possible to determine. And so spectrophotometrically we can quantify the DNA content. The next,
The relative purity of preparation of DNA may be assessed by measuring its absorbance at both 260 and 280 nanometer and computing the ratio. Pure DNA has an 260 divided by 280 ratio of 1.8.
okay. This means that many times whenever we separate the DNA from the that is actually the difficult task. Along with that, several proteins are also there, several RNA is also there, several other things. So in order to check whether this DNA is pure or not, so for that purpose, a same principle can be utilized of the UV absorbance. You have to take a reading at a 260 of a DNA and take another reading at a 280. Okay. So for example, whatever concentration of DNA is given to you, so that first you have to take a reading of a 260 nanometer and another at a 280 nanometer. Then take a ratio of these of both the reading, and if that comes to 1.8, that gives the hint that the DNA is the pure. DNA is not contaminated by the protein and all this. While for the RNA, pure RNA, same ratio 260 to 280, it is a 2. Means suppose if your answer is not 1.8, it is going 1.92, that means it indicates that the RNA is there, not pure DNA is there. So this is the one of the important things. Then the last, what is the last? Proteins absorb. Who will going to read?
Protein absorb UV 280 nanometer largely due to the aromatic ring of tryptophan. The relative purity of the preparation of DNA may be assessed by measuring its absorption at both 260 and 280 nanometer and computing the ratio. Pure DNA has an absorption 280 by absorption 280 ratio of 1.8. If protein is present, the ratio will be less than 1.8, and if RNA is present, the ratio will be greater than 1.8. Pure RNA has an absorption 260 by absorption 280 ratio of approximately 2.
Okay. Now this makes it easy to analyze the contamination. Means whether the protein is not there, whether the RNA is there, and this particular technique is also useful for the determining the purity of a protein, purity of a RNA, purity of the DNA. And henceforth, first of all, whenever you separate out the DNA, calculate this particular value, and once it is calculated, then you can determine the concentration. This is the ratio. Henceforth, suppose if you have taken the 10 microgram per ml DNA and if you are taking the reading, the ratio will be same. If you have taken the 20 microgram DNA, the ratio will be same. Henceforth, quantity if is increase, that never changes the this particular ratio. Okay, so this 1.8 for the DNA you should keep in mind, and 260 to 280. A smaller digit is above and larger digit is below. Means 260 is above, 280 is below. Hence 260 absorbance at 260 upon absorbance of 280. If it gives the reading 1.8, that means DNA is pure. Okay. Next point, who is going to discuss? Read.
In a solution of unlinked nucleotides, the bases are more spread out and absorb more radiation.
Okay, unlinked nucleotides have ability to get absorbed. Means, whenever the nucleotides are a part of the DNA, at that time the absorbance is less, and when these are get separated from each other, automatically the absorbance is get increased. Next.
In a DNA
In a
double
DNA.
helix, the base
Okay,
are
Madhuri.
stacked on top of in a DNA double helix, the bases are stacked on top of each other and relatively less UV light is absorbed.
What is meaning? What will be the meaning? Same thing I explained for so many times. What is the meaning of this sentence, Madhuri? In double helix, what happens?
Bases are stacked.
Means the when the double stranded DNA is there, and single stranded DNA is there, and free nucleotides are there, the absorbance is increasing. Okay. In single stranded RNA, next sentence. Okay, next sentence. Who is going to read?
In single-stranded RNA or in single-stranded DNA, the situation is intermediate. UV light is preferentially absorbed by the purine and pyrimidine, not due to the phosphate components of nucleic acid.
One thing, keep in mind that whatever absorbance is there, this is due to the nucleotides, not due to the sugar, not due to the phosphate. Henceforth, whenever these nucleotides are get exposed, the absorbance is going to expose. In case of double stranded DNA, these are get well stacked, well hindered as far as the structure is concerned. Hence, the comparatively less absorbance. When the two strands are separated, at that time absorbance is get increased. Why? The nucleotides are get exposed. Okay, and henceforth at the finally we can say that as compared to double stranded DNA, a single stranded DNA or a single stranded RNA has the more absorbance, while a free nucleotides which are totally separated from each other, that have the major. This also gives the hint that the, say for example, if we denature the DNA, move the DNA, automatically the double stranded DNA become a single stranded. Means this phenomena we can study as far as our laboratory is concerned. Suppose if I have given the double stranded DNA and if apply the heat, whether it is a denaturing or not, that can be easily calculated by means of checking the spectrophotometric reading. This is the important terms. When the heat is applied to the DNA, the hydrogen bonds, which are the weakest bond, okay. Generally, the glycosidic bonds are never get affected by means of heating because normal heating 60, 70, 80 degrees Celsius. These are responsible to disturb, remove this particular hydrogen bonding pattern. And when hydrogen bonds are get broken, the two strands are get separated. Means in a hot solution, the DNA gets separated. Why? Because hydrogen bonds are there. The such DNA is referred as the denatured DNA, and the process is referred as the denaturation. Okay. Now it is not a degradation. In degradation, what happens? These covalent bonds are going to break in case of degradation. That is never happening when we apply this. But what happens when we taken a denatured DNA and slightly slowly we are pulling that this thing? Once again there is a renaturation of DNA. This phenomena is referred as the annealing. Annealing means renaturation of DNA, and when the two strands are getting separated from each other, it is referred as the denaturation. Then by means of spectrophotometric analysis, we can determine this denaturation and annealing. Yes, because we know that this
Yes.
has the less absorbance and this has the more absorbance. And henceforth, to determine the melting point, the spectrophotometric assay can be. So, for example, here, if we have taken the DNA sample, it is a double stranded here, and if we increase the heat 70, 75, 80, you will find that the along with the increase in heat, the this particular absorbance is also going to be increased. Why? Because already we have explained that the when the strands are going to be separate from each other, automatically this thing. And at a higher temperature, what happens? The nucleotides are totally free, exposed. And this particular phenomena of increase in UV absorbance on the heated DNA, it is referred as the hyperchromic shift. Means whenever the DNA is heated, that means inside it get denatured, and due to the denaturation, the absorbance is also get increased, and this increase in absorbance is referred as the hyperchromic effect. Mean along with the thing, the UV absorbance is increased as far as the DNA is concerned. This is the hyperchromic effect or hyperchromacy. Hyper means increasing. So this is the reason in this case what happens, there is the less absorbance is there, while when the nucleotides are free as a part of passing different strands, separated strands, automatically absorbance is more in this case. Okay, and henceforth duplex DNA absorb ultraviolet rays by the 40% than the individual DNA. Means there is a proportion also. The individual DNA strand absorb 40% more DNA as compared to the double-stranded intact DNA. And that is nothing but the hyper. Then the another important feature is the Boyon's density. Okay. Those who are not get done, please read the first characteristics, what it means. Buoyant density. Buoyancy is the important property. Yes, first read first sentence.
Buoyant density of majority of DNA is 1.7 gram per centimeter cube.
Okay. First of all, you must know about the density. Density is the mass per volume ratio. Okay. So, example, the 1 kilo cotton and 1 kilo iron both have the same uh, mass, because both are already given that the 1 kilo iron. But when I am throwing from one direction to another or from the building, so that speed of that particular cotton will be different, or the speed of that thing will be different. Why? Because resistance will be there, because volume is get expanded, and henceforth it is resisted by the wind and all the friction takes place, and henceforth automatically this thing. Density's principle is to know that the suppose we have made a foil of metal that can be stabilized as far as water surface is concerned, but we have make the spherical ball of that same volume, automatically. Here, the Bayern density is the density at which the DNA can be float. Suppose you want to float the DNA, we should have such a solution which have the same Bayern density. Then and then that particular thing will be floating into it. Otherwise, due to the density in DNA, in water, the DNA will be always going beside it. But one of the important components, that is the 6 molar cesium chloride solution. This is very important. This quantity 6 molar cesium chloride solution has the same density like the DNA, and henceforth the cesium chloride is used for the ultracentrifugation, because So, for example, in the bacterial cell, the plasmid is also there and the chromosome is also there. Chromosome DNA is the larger, plasmid DNA is the smaller. And suppose I want to separate it, if I immerse both the type of DNA into the 6 molar cesium chloride solution, what happens? Due to this, offering the speed, okay, they are appropriately get separated. Why? Because the heaviness as far as the chromosomal DNA is concerned and lightness of the plasmid DNA, and henceforth the cesium chloride solution is used for the separation of the DNA, and that technique is the ultracentrifugation. This is not a normal centrifugation, much more speed is there, and speed should be the 450,000 or 4,50,000 multiplied by G. This is the important unit, and when we are going to discuss regarding the practical, at that time I will explain. Generally, centrifugation speed is also given into the RPM, rotation per minute, or the G. This is depending on the radius of that centrifugation rotor. At this high speed, when we are separating the DNA, cesium chloride, the separation is possible, and henceforth we many times determine use this particular technique, ultracentrifugation, for the purpose of the separation of the DNA. Why the cesium chloride used? Because of the neutral buoyancy. The point at which the density of substance and the solution is the same. In case of a 6 molar cesium chloride and the DNA, this achieve the natural buoyancy. And henceforth, if any separation will be takes place, this depending on the weight of the DNA, mass of the DNA. One thing also keep in mind that the if the G plus C content is more, then automatically the buoyant density will be also more. Of course, you know that the G and C content is the more, automatically DNA becomes heavy, and hence by means of ultracentrifugation, it is possible to separate the satellite DNA, because in satellite DNA what happens, the concentration of G and C is the heavily present, and in that way a separation of such DNA is also possible. Or in other terms, we can say that the G plus C content can also determine by means of the buoyant density. The G plus C content can also determine by melting the DNA, because in former example, suppose if the heat is applied, the melting DNA is going to melt. But if the G and C content is more, the melting will require more temperature. Why? Because there are three bonds are there as far as the hydrogen bonding pattern is concerned. And henceforth, with respect to this particular thing, uh, buoyant density along with that the UV absorbance, these are the very much important characteristic feature as far as DNA is concerned, that are utilized for the biologists in order to study the DNA. So that's all regarding to the today's part, and in next part we are going to discuss in the coming lecture. If you have any question, you can ask me. Just for the your sake of convenience, one by one I am rotating here. What concept we are discuss? Today we discuss the forms of DNA. These are the two reasons: glycosidic bond conformation and sugar puckering. Due to this, the several times the DNA alters the rotation helical turns. It becomes a left-handed, and due to this particular both phenomena, A DNA, B DNA, Z DNA is there. Generally, the physiologically active or physiologically most occurred DNA is the B DNA. But whenever the salt concentration and humidity is get altered, automatically A or Z DNA can be get formed. So these are the different features, several features of the A, B, and Z DNA. Then we discuss regarding to the characteristic feature properties of the DNA based on the bonding and the basic structure of the DNA. Physically, it absorbs the at 240, 254 to 260. 260 is a peak. Not only it is useful for the determination, but also useful for the determining the purity. We can also determine the purity of the DNA by means of taking the ratio of a 260 to 280 reading observance, and if it is equal to 1.8, that is the pure DNA. Not only DNA but proteins and RNAs are also can be checked. The important thing is that the double stranded DNA, as compared to double stranded DNA, the single stranded DNA or single stranded RNA has the more absorbance, and the free nucleotides have the more absorbance. Means whenever the organized structure is get formed, the absorbance is get decreased, and when the denaturation is taking place, absorbance is increased. Whenever both the strands are get separated due to the heating or by means of any other way, that this is referred as the denaturation. While denatured DNA can be renatured also, that is referred as the annealing. Depending on G plus C content, the DNA melt means when the both the strands are get separated. This is referred as the melting of the DNA, melting point of the DNA, and this can be studied by means of a hyperchromatic effect, by means of a spectrophotometer. The reason behind the hyperchromaticity I explained to you, because stacked DNA, double stranded DNA has the less absorbance, and the denatured DNA or the nucleotide has the higher absorbance. Another technique, Bayern density, is also useful for the separation of the DNA, because by employing the 6 molar cesium chloride solution, it is possible to separate the DNA like a plasmid DNA or chromosomal DNA, because by achieving the neutral buoyancy, this point is achieved by the 6 molar cesium chloride, which has the equal Bayern density as compared to the DNA. So that's all regarding to the today's lecture. If you have any question, please freely ask the question if you have.
Sir, why we take 260 or 280 ratio? Why we take 280?
Okay, 2 as 280 there is a particular value. Of course, that value will be less because UV absorbance of the DNA is more at a 260,
Yes.
and at 280 it will be the less. Okay, while in case of protein at 280 it is more, and at 260 it is less. Clear? For the RNA it is different. Means by checking the two combination, we can give the ratio. If 1.18 is there, that gives the hint that the DNA is there. If the reading is more at 280, that means the proteins might be there, because the ratio, the 280 reading is increased, means that is the decrease in the ratio. Okay, this is the also calculated on the various standard technique, and that is the standard one. So why it is taken? Because it gives the reliable result. Okay, and henceforth this is the reason. RNA absorb, DNA also absorb, and protein also absorb. But their absorbance is at a different peak level, and henceforth that we have to analyze. We have to focus on as far as this difference is concerned, and that will be utilized for the purpose of our convenience. That whether the DNA is pure or not. Yes. Next.
Bond density of Z form of DNA can be changed.
What do you think? Whether it will be changed?
I think change
Very good. Why? How?
because the base pair number of base pairs are changed, and the uh, height of Z form is more than B form and A form.
Okay. Very good. Let's see. What is actually we are seeing in this case, the diameter is going to be altered. In case of A form, B form, Z form, a diameter is get altered. Diameter means the some sort of a volume. Although the weight of all the form of DNA is same. For example, one DNA is taken that is converted into the A form and Z form. The molecular weight will not get changed because all molecules are constant, but their orientation is get modified, and we can say that the structurally the diameter is get modified, and henceforth their buoyant density will also get changed, and henceforth the separation can be possible. Very nice question, Pratiksha. By this means also we can separate, but difference will be very light one. Henceforth, we have to increase the speed. Ultra centrifugation technique can reveal such kind of whether it is a Z form or the. So that is the very nice questions, and also good answering is given. Yes. Any other question?
No, sir.
Sir, why only nitrogenous bases are absorb the light, not sugar and phosphorus?
Not only nitrogenous bases, but those components are the aromatic. Generally, the aromatic compounds have ability to absorb the ultraviolet ray. The aromacity is present in the nitrogenous bases. Sugar, in the sugar structure, we don't detected any aromacity. In phosphate, there is no aromacity. Hence, for aromacity is associated with the nitrogenous base, and hence all the nitrogenous bases are absorbed.
Okay, sir.
Okay, any other question?